This is just my personal opinion, but maybe you agree too, but I think the self-help and self-improvement space is getting a little bit too noisy, too crowded, and it's just too cacophonous with noise that is actually holding you back. In today's video, I wanted to talk about this topic of self-improvement, self-help, the abundance of resources that we have, and content creators always presenting us with so much research and information, theories, hypotheses, tips, advice to improve every nook and cranny of your life. And it feels like we're just falling off an improvement cliff, so to speak, and wanted to make this video to help everybody ground their feet and bring them back to earth. Now, I am guilty, just as many of you guys are, of consuming that content and be like, ooh, I like that too. I like this one, I gotta give it a try. And next thing you know, I have all sorts of different planners, resources, strategies in front of me that I'm just like, I gotta spin all these plates and then see if it's gonna make my life better. But guess what? Something I've thought about and decided to do is to stop listening. Stop listening and rather listening to myself. In my opinion, you really need to be careful and be very conservative in your consumption of the morsels of wisdom and advice that people are peddling, including this one. Now, I spent 4 decades on this planet, and something that I've realized is that we fall into the trappings of, race to the top, but we're actually racing to the bottom. This rat race, the hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, it's just a constant marathon. And it's not just like a steady, light jogging marathon. We're programmed to always go in the full sprint towards something that is not natural to us. And it's only just recently that I had this realization that I'm really tired of hearing, according to this study, according to this theory, according to the hypothesis. Interesting anecdote, or parable here. When there are too many choices, you actually can't make a choice at all. That's what it feels like with the self-help and self-improvement space. So what I've done recently in order to help me keep a more calm, balanced, and grounded perspective in my life is to, number one, work on self-acceptance. Stop with the self-improvement, because I'm guilty of having been like, I'm gonna study this, I'm gonna get this course under my belt, I'm gonna get that certification, I'm gonna be chasing this, I'm gonna be chasing that. And it just became a different type of rat race that runs parallel to my life as a corporate minion. And it made my life too noisy and veering away from what I wanted, which is a state of calm and peace, not added noise. And the second thing is to consume that content as entertainment, not actual earnest advice for you to go try and experiment with. I think a lot of us are falling into the danger of trying to do everything all at once, get better at everything, and it's just too much. A third thing is to don't fall into the trappings of clicking on every video talking about how to be successful in this, how to be successful in life, when we can't even align on what success actually means for people. So success has many different permutations. It has many different definitions depending on who you are, where you live, your background. It's all going to look very different. Distilling it down to a single picture of success, I think it's a little bit disingenuous, and it doesn't really help you in the long run. And another thing is that what makes you happy is not necessarily going to be the same for the person next to you. What makes them happy is not going to be true for you. That ties into the self-acceptance piece, where you have to look at your life and be like, am I feeling good in this space? Am I feeling secure? And do I trust myself? Do I trust the process? Do I trust just the flow of time? Am I trying too much to try to force and contrive a situation that is counter to the way my life is flowing? Another important piece is that rather than listening to all this noise of self-improvement, I think it's really important to trust the process and let the timing happen. One of my favorite quotes that I quote very often is by Lao Tzu: nature does not hurry, yet it accomplishes everything. I know that's very counter to this hyper rapid produce, output, productivity cliff culture we live in this hyper capitalistic state. But I think if we continue this ascension towards this cliff, the fall is going to be even greater. Because nothing in nature is designed to grow infinitely. Nothing is designed to go on an infinite incline, infinite growth, except for cancer and maybe space. And the fact that we're trying to have this in some kind of economic model that dictates the way that people can live, I really feel like it is like cancer that's going to grow infinitely until it destroys the host. When it does destroy and crumble, it is us that we are participating in that system who will be hurt the most. But I think rather than trying to go out proactively and outreach and try to force people to change their mind, it all starts with you. I think it just starts with at the individual level of being like, hey, I want to slow down. I know I'm a contrarian at work because I say to my colleagues all the time, nature does not hurry, yet it accomplishes everything. And the common reply is, yeah, but they don't have performance reviews. Yeah, but they don't have deadlines. Maybe that's the problem. We're looking for quote unquote improvement, but in the grand scheme of things, in the larger context, what does this improvement actually mean? Objectively, it doesn't matter, right? A little bit nihilistic, yeah, but truly, if we need to scale back, slow down so that people can be grounded again, people can feel secure, people don't feel like they're experiencing an existential threat every single day, that means there's something about the system that's causing us to feel that way. I don't mind being a contrarian at work, saying we need to slow down, and if you don't like it, then you're part of the problem. You're the problem that people are burning out. You're the problem that so many men are leaving the labor force and not entering. You're the problem that we have population decline in many parts of the world. And for those who are not on board with this, I hope that one day they start realizing that they're actually part of the problem. They're part of the problem for supply chain issues, for allowing corporations to get away with highway robbery and extracting wealth from the very ground that we stand on and propping them up and holding them up to high esteem while they screw us all over. So rather than trying to rack your brain around how you can improve in 26 different ways, maybe you want to start thinking about how you want to accept yourself and love yourself, feel good, and trust where you're going. When you internalize and truly believe time is on your side, you will be okay, you'll be safe, you will have shelter, you'll have enough to eat, you will have stability, and be in a psychologically safe space. You start seeing things unfold before your eyes and your experience, attracting and achieving those things. So sweep all that noise off the table and go back to the principle of keep it simple, stupid. Go back to the fundamentals. Focus on the fundamentals and make securing the fundamentals and giving it proper time and attention the impetus for you to reach your version of success.